Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi Zerin here with a thought for Shabbat. This week we read Parashat Emor, which includes an overview of the Jewish calendar and all of the major holidays in the time of the Torah. On the one hand, this should not be entirely surprising. The Torah talks in many places about how we mark time in sacred ways, descriptions of holidays sprinkled throughout the entire Torah. And yet, this Torah portion is one of only two comprehensive reviews of the Jewish calendar, giving us a sense of the cycle from Passover to Shavuot, to Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret, which now also includes Simchat Torah. This comprehensive review of the Jewish calendar appears only one other place. And so, of course, that begs the question, why here? Why now? Why in this book of Vayikra, this book of Leviticus, which is concerned primarily with sacrifices and priestly worship, do we get this comprehensive overview of the Jewish year? Rabbi Palasak has a very powerful interpretation that I want to share with you today. One that looks not only at the content of this Torah portion, but where it is situated in the entirety of the book of Leviticus, the book of Vayikra. In a way, we can think of the book of Vayikra, the book of Leviticus, as a book discussing the concentric circles of holiness and the way that holiness ripples out into all aspects of the universe. Because the book of Leviticus starts with priestly worship in the Mishkan, in that portable temple that we had in the desert, a small central focal point where the priests were to meet God. And if we stopped at those first couple portions, you might think that holiness only exists in that one place. But then the book of Leviticus goes out to Parshiot Tazria Mitzora, which talk about the ways that holiness can be recognized and preserved not only in the center of the camp where the Mishkan is, but in people's homes and people's lives. The book of Leviticus then goes on to discuss Parasha Achrei Mot Kedoshim, the way that holiness exists not just in the camp around the Mishkan, but in each of our own personal experiences. And then we arrive at Parashat Emor, this week's Torah reading, which reminds us that holiness is not only anchored to physical locations, to a tent of meeting, to a Mishkan, to a home, to a person, but that holiness is also anchored in time. That holiness also exists in the flow of the days and the months and the years, in ways that we can experience wherever and whoever we may be. In honor of Parashat Emor, may we all be able to experience these concentric circles of holiness, recognizing that holiness exists in places, exists in people, and also exists in time, as we walk through the time in our own lives, entering Shabbat and moving towards Shavuot, participating in this sacred passage of time. Shabbat Shalom.